All right, welcome to another edition of our Videolab Creator Interview Series, where we have Daniel Sierra with us today, talking a bit about his process and how he got into making a few packs for the OPZ. So a bit about background before we begin. Daniel was born and raised in Washington, D.C. He likes to create abstract digital art that's heavily influenced by sound, music, and generative concepts. He's also influenced by animation, film, and media growing up, such as Akira, Metropolis, and video games like Res. Daniel was an early beta tester for the OPZ and made his first video pack called Glitchdrum, which is an interstellar Running Man that interactively lights up when you play the OPZ. So Daniel, when I first saw Glitchdrum, I was immediately obsessed with it and created a video using it shortly after. And, after you sent that out for everyone to download for free, which I thought was really awesome, you made it open for everyone to try out. So it's great to have you here with us today. So let's talk about how you first got into making video packs for the OPZ.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the nice intro. I guess, I've always been a big fan of teenage engineering. I think it was the OP1 that first put me onto them ways back. And I've always been really into electronic music and synthesizers and computer graphics, generative art, that kind of stuff. And so I think it was just kind of, when I saw that they were making this new successor to the OP1, the OPZ, and that there was going to be some Unity angle to it with audio visual type stuff, I was super excited from the beginning. And so and so I always had my eye on it. And then I started working at a company, I'm still working there today, called Wave. We do virtual concerts, really, really cool stuff. You should check it out. But we, working with them, at one point we started, we had some contacts in teenage engineering, and kind of conversation came up, and I was able to work with them and make a video pack, in exchange for getting to mess with the OPZ as like earlier on when they were all kind of sold out and it was hard to get one. So that was awesome. And so so that kind of how that came about. And so that's how I made Glitchdrum. And it never got released by them, I guess. But a lot of people were super into it. And so I was posting it online a lot, and people were asking if it was available. And so eventually I was, just released it out into the wild. And it's been great because, definitely it motivates me to make more of them now, just seeing that other people enjoy it and that they get some fun out of it.
Yeah, no, I saw a few that didn't get released, and there's one by a Sheltron, I think.
Yeah.
I actually learned a lot from his video pack, or he sent out his, I think he made his project open source as well. And I learned a little bit about camera movement and stuff. Like I kind of took his project and I was like, oh, okay, here's how you do this and this. So so I think a few people had their like video packs that were going to get released, but I'm glad they are coming to the surface, and so it's more material for everyone to learn from. So
actually Sheltron, that we both worked at Wave, so we both made our packs together under the same thing I just was talking about with teenage engineering. So great guy too. Definitely check out all his work. It seems like you already do. So
I'll put a link to Sheltron stuff in the description then. So I guess you're a pretty well-balanced designer and technical artist. I'm wondering which do you think you're more of a technical artist or designer when it comes to interactive art?
Sure, yeah, that's always a really good question to ask. I would say I'm more on the, probably, I guess you could say, the design side, or that side, and less on the technical, only in the sense that, to me, I guess the technical has always been, like the interest in the technical side only emerged because I saw what you could do with it to create art. And so Whereas, some people, I think, they get interested in the technical early on. Like, for example, I use programming a lot in the work I do, and I was never interested in code or programming until I saw the connection to making sound or making graphics. And so I think the technical side is a means for me to create things that I find beautiful or inspiring. But the funny thing is that in doing that and learning more about what goes into making some of these technical based art forms, you start to get more interested in the technical side just for the sake of it, because I think you learn, once you start to learn a lot more about the concepts that go in, it kind of opens up your world a bit. So I think it's an interesting kind of relationship in that sense. And I meet a lot of people who work at this intersection of like art and technology. And I've met people who start really heavily into the art, and then they really move all into the technical in sort of a sense. Like they get so inspired by learning more about, maybe it could be math, 3D math, or generative systems, or just programming concepts in general, that becomes their kind of creative space primarily. So I think, it's always an interesting question. And I think, people who kind of have this split brain are always maybe kind of jumping back and forth in some ways, focusing, agreeing with the tech and getting a lot of enjoyment out of that, but then going back to creative thinking. So I think generally though, for me, the tech is usually always as a means to get something that I find, inspiring or interesting to look at or experience.
Yeah. It seems like you start with like sketches and things like that. So I probably, as I look at your Instagram, it is really like, it's more on the artist side and very kind of framed out as like an artist. So I was always wondering that, but you're pretty decent at like music and like creating compositions. So you're pretty well-rounded there. It's like you guys should check out some of this Instagram stuff. It's got a lot of just amazing different artworks. As I was looking at the Glitchdrum video pack, there are a ton of creative MIDI mappings that you consider for the OPZ. How did you decide which channels on the OPZ to map? And is this just from your experience in art, or is this from experimenting in Unity as you're going along, what feels right? And if you had a chance to do it again, what would you change in a second version?
Yeah, another great question. When I started actually I really didn't have any idea. I was like, I guess maybe you just want to map everything to do something. I wasn't really sure. And then as I was tinkering more, I was realizing that too many buttons isn't the best. Quantity maybe over quality isn't, in this case, the best thing. So what I ended up landing on with Glitchdrum was, all right, I like the concept of drum as being a focus on this. So I'll just think about the kick drum and the snare, the kind of bare essentials of a drum beat, like the heart of a drum beat, I guess you could say. And so in Glitchdrum, in that video pack, the bass drum triggers the kind of central like square piece that pushes forward and creates that kind of impulse event. And then the snare triggers this sharp line that cuts across the screen. And so no matter what bass drum sample or snare drum sample you're using now, OPZ, it's always going to trigger that event. So it's like a consistent element across your composition. And then in the last MIDI channel that's devoted to the controlling the video pack, every button does do something. And I kind of organized it in a certain way that I never documented, so I don't, it wouldn't be obvious unless you.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like bugging you, because I like almost everything you do on it like feels great, but it's like all these happy accidents kind of come together, and so I think you really thought out about just the essentials first, the kick drum, snare, and like hi-hat, but then there's these other layers that are just like nice, like extra polish on it. So yeah, I really liked how you mapped out it to work with the OPZ, and then if I would do it again, I would probably make it a lot simpler. And then, like you said, I think I like the concept that magic can kind of just emerge from it without you necessarily having to think about what combination of buttons you're pressing. Yeah. So I guess lastly, like, do you have any projects or ideas you want to share with us? Like for Videopaks, I know they release like kind of this, like they're pushing a little bit more on Videopak kind of creation now, and they have this way to auto load Videopaks in the app. So if you were gonna, maybe you're thinking about revisiting it, or you're pretty busy with your current work, it seems. But yeah, I just want to see if you have any projects to share with us.
Yeah, I mean, related to Videopaks, I have an idea. I have a few ideas floating in my head of things I want to do. Unfortunately, one of them I started trying, but I don't think it's possible with the current constraints of the system. I wanted to make basically this, keeping in line with the drum theme, I want to make another version of a drum pack. I was thinking of calling it Biodrum, but this would be like, I don't know if you've ever seen the reaction diffusion generative stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But something based on that, and this one would be a much more generative system, and so every kind of impulse event would create another
cool
trigger into the system. So it, it's all based on that reaction diffusion type of system. So you can create really beautiful patterns just from simple events, and so I think that would be a great one. But I was having trouble doing that because there's some heavy constraints at the moment, which you can't write your own scripts.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to get around that, but I was having an issue with, anyways, I don't quite know what the issue was, but so I might either, I'll have to think about what to do with that one. But I have some other ideas too. But yeah, I think I'll that's one of my goals this year, is to release another Videopak. So.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. Looking forward to
find the time to do it.
So yeah, Daniel, thanks for coming on today, and really appreciate you sharing, how you made Glitchdrum and some other, future projects that you're going to be making. Feel free to check out his Instagram, where he's making some pretty amazing wavetable morphing visualizers. They're just, I've been following those, and they're pretty impressive. As well as some other 3D artworks. Again, I'll link Daniel's work below, and I'll put a download link to Glitchdrum too if you guys want to check it out. And I'll leave this video with a video of Daniel jamming out to his awesome Videopak Glitchdrum. So, all right, guys, till next time, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Today we're going to make music. Music that has many of the feelings we have. So get your instruments and come along with me. Music that has many of the feelings we have. If you don't have them, clap when an instrument plays. Ready? Let's begin.